Hello everybody, this is a Grumpy Old Guy Gaming. We are back with Wee T, our Wave Master, in the Die Less series. Last time out we did 5 quality levels in the offline story mode, picked up a few member addresses of notable NPCs from the .hack series, and actually picked up some rather decent gear for our level. This time we'll be hopping into online mode and seeing what you could do at a low level in the online portion of this game. Now it is worth noting outright here that there is a rather serious gamble you're taking playing online, and that's the potential for soloing. I intentionally came on at a time where not so many people play, to highlight the fact that a lot of times you'll kind of be on your lonesome, and if you die here, it is a level down, game over scenario. So something to keep in mind as you're going through here. Now, a couple of misconceptions people have when they come here, they'll take a look at the different server levels and see all of these numbers 36, 58, 50, 99 and think these are high level areas and that newer players can't come on here. And one thing I want to show later is that you can in fact get lower level fields out of higher level servers. Think of these levels as sort of a general average strength, with the exception of Crab Server, which is a different beast entirely, pun loosely intended. That said, we are going to go to the Grunty Haven server, starting there. And we're going to start in a very familiar sounding location for today's adventure. So coming into Grunty Haven, you could see Wee T here, about halfway to level 6. Actually has a pretty decent staff selection, managed to pick up a groovy stick, and I will tell you how I came upon that at a later date. Actually later in this one. Let's go ahead and reset our skills up here, put Ganrom in the L2 circle position, move Ruzot to L2 triangle, and L2 and X is going to be Rajukzot, giving us easy access to 3 different elements here. When I say a familiar looking location, sounding location, if you remember back either to the start of Infection, if you've played IMOQ, the quadrilogy for the R1 single player games, or if you've played through the beginning of the offline story, the very first field that Bear and BT take you to is Bursting Past Over Aquafield. This is going to have a set number of, a certain set of parameters, I should say. It's a default word combination in an area server. So in order for these words to not be in an area server, the person hosting the server would actually have to go in and either alter them or remove them. So I'm going to say most of the servers you run into are probably going to have this in here, and because it's not a super sought after field, it's going to have values rather similar to this, and it's going to run pretty darn similar to what we're about to see. It is not going to be a one-for-one copy of the Bursting Past Over Aquafield from offline mode, so don't expect 4 little portals in the field with, singular goblins in them. But it will be a very clearable field, and one that will give you plenty of chances to harvest Mandragora, if you can make it through this opening ambush, of course. Got some Swordmanwoods, a Skyfish. looks like a magical goblin. Let the swordmanoids get together, take them out there. And just because it's fire element, crush the magical goblin with a little bit of ice. Now you saw we picked up a decent amount of experience there and also picked up a risky treasure. Not a bad way to start the day. Haven't even tripped a portal and we're up 20. Pick up a hatchet out of the risky treasure. I'd actually run this previously, and in fact done this portion of the upload previously, and something was screwed up in my settings and the video did not take well. So we're back running it again, and that is why we are missing a rather important thing on the field here, and it's that 99 times out of 100 when you come to a bursting past over Aquafield Field, there will more than likely be a spring of mist. Since it is sunny weather, as we've covered in the past, it will upgrade weapons, which I actually used to get a bit more sale value out of a weapon. Getting flanked by magical goblins there. I suppose the poison was inevitable. Come up real close and personal on that one. Eventually do have to bite the bullet and use a mage's soul, but we actually did quite a bit of economy out of our initial pool. Get a nice elemental hit for 220. Getting that Ganrom out of the gate is such a huge advantage. Taking out 3 enemies before anything even has a chance to react to our presence is crucial for a wave master, especially when you're at such a low level. I mean, sub 100 hit points. There you see a roving band of random monster just coming up over the horizon. Gonna try and dance around, get them grouped together, and we do get a couple together there, so hit the magical goblin, take out a swordmanoid. Do have to rely on a health drink there. Heal ourselves up with a little rep. Take out the Skyfish, because that is the upfront attacker, and now after the magical goblin. Again, Ruzat, just one hit and done. Quality damage there. Get another chance to toss a little ice a magical goblin's way. And it goes off without fail, giving us more than enough time to take care of that Skyfish. Gotta retreat from the second one though. Rather than pop the mage's soul, we'll wait the extra second or two to let our SP get over double digits. Unfortunately, the ambush just keeps running and the best laid plans kinda go to waste. Take out this swordmanoid before it gets to be a problem. Ruzat on magical goblin number 1 misses, so I guess for economy's sake, since they are grouped close enough together, we'll Ganrom for some shared damage and finish off with a second. Took a bit more energy than we were hoping for, but the 3 treasure chests dropped at the end more than reward enough for the situation. Coming upon another roving Skyfish here as we're just trying to make our way to the next portal. Nice thing is, this is all quality experience. At lower levels, a big portion of the game is just managing what you go up against. As long as you're able to clear what's in front of you, life is good, and that's, again, where Ganrom comes in handy. There you see 10 SP, I was able to take out 3 enemies. Still have a few portals left, including one that is legitimately right on the back end of the dungeon. Speed Charm wore off, better get that going in case we have to book it out of a hairy situation. Or in case we accidentally target a magical goblin instead of the charging swordmanoid. Fortunately, had just enough time to hit the swordmanoid with a Ganrom before things got out of hand. Treasure chest out of the near dungeon portal. Almost betrays us as we almost walk into a wandering band with a swordmanoid and a couple magical goblins. But we managed to avoid the worst of that little trap, take out both of the goblins. Almost get taken out by a skyfish. One last portal to go. Risky treasure for the Claire. We will take that. As you can see, we've stocked up on quite a bit of equipment. Again, have like at least 7 Mandragora that I've seen that you could just pluck every time you come in and out of this field. And if we look at the status page, we've picked up about 180 experience just out in the field. Gonna head into the dungeon and clear it, and I'll rejoin you guys closer to the end. And we are back here in the statue room. As you may have been able to tell from the stats at the bottom, we have achieved the dream. Got just enough experience from running this dungeon to get ourselves all the way up to level 6. And now there's little left to do but crack the statue. This chest gives us mountain boots, as well as a health drink and a grunty doll. And as you can see, we got quite the assortment of equipment here. Just 7 items between amateur blades and hatchets. Mountain boots, of course, not usable by a wave master, but is a nice level 12 item. Also picked up a grunty doll and plenty of spells. And that's going to come in handy here when we get back to town. Of course, we still have to deal with that pesky portal right by the dungeon. And since I haven't shown you guys Rajukzot on this upload yet, let's go ahead and try and find ourselves a safe spot to do that. There you see it taking out those skyfish rather handily in tandem. Now if I was sticking around, I'd probably pop another antidote on this poison, but as it is, I just needed to clear battle mode so I could get out of here and back to town. That will magically erase the poison and bring us back to full, and allow us to head up here. One of the reasons I chose Grunty Haven as the server for this run was because it's set in Dunloriag, which is a town that's still going to give you access to health drinks and mages' souls. Remember, when somebody sets up their area server, they designate the root town there, and the root towns will have items reflecting what they would have in the single player games or in offline story mode. So even if the server level is low, if they set Net Slum as their root town, they're going to have endgame items. Before we buy anything, we'd better sell off stuff, make sure we have some extra money. Holding on to our wands, again, for trade and for variety's sake. And holding on to some higher priced items as well, so when we dip back into offline mode, we've got plenty of trade bait for NPCs and party members alike. Now, as you can tell, we're actually gaining quite a bit of gold through this strategy. Up to a little over 1,800. And that's just going to allow us to keep filling our stash up as it is. Get ourselves in better shape so that when we play with other people, we can go ahead and be just as useful. Always making sure to have that ocarina on hand. And this is a scenario where if we wanted to do some server hopping into an area with a later game route town, we could spend some of our newly acquired fortune on some better weapons and armor if we so chose. It is worth noting that the more expensive weapons you get, the more cost intensive these skills will get. As you could see here, just on the difference between Air Wand and Adian's Wand, you've got some level 2 spells here that cost 20 SP. So using them will chew through your bar very quickly at low level. And even looking at our Groovy Stick, we have a level 1 and a level 2 ability. So it is important to have castable spells as well as powerful ones, and the same thing goes for skills on weapons for melee classes. Another option you have is how we came upon the Groovy Stick in the first place, and we will check that out presently. If you come back out here, you can go to the guild section, and this is where you're able to, join guilds and create guilds, but we're going to go to the shop list here. As you can see, there are several guilds around. Each one has a potential storefront. Not each one will have a storefront. Most of them will be blank due to, just inactivity, not stocking items in a while. But a few of the guild shops still have some activity to them. Here you can see some antidotes, some wristbands, and some divine crosses for sale. And the important thing to look for here is that when you look at some of these items, you could find them at an incredible discount. Here is an Earth Staff. That's a level 44 weapon for 2,000 gold. That is insanely cheap and insanely powerful. You've got access to a level 4 Fagan Dawn, so an Earth spell. Also got a level 2 Earth spell on this, and a level 2 Earth Summons. You get Yarthkins at the CH level. For 2,000 gold, that is an absolute steal. And this is in fact where we picked up our Groovy Stick. Picked it up for 1,900, which is far less than you will find it, I believe, in the Carmina Gadalika root town shop. Lambda server. And you can see they've got a list of different items for sale, all heavily discounted from in-game. That is done out of the kindness and generosity of the people who set this shop up. As you can see moving down here as well, this shop is several swords for sale. And closer, more reflective to the prices. But again, you can find Witch's Wand here, a level 20 weapon for 2,500. again, an incredible deal. So it is worth perusing to see if you can find a shop with items for sale. Now, again, these are put up by people, and listing items and pricing them is not the easiest or most automatic thing to do. They will make a profit off of it for their guild, but try not to take advantage of it. There are some deals out there that are just too good to be true. One in particular was a bit of experimentation and whatnot, and I would just suggest that while the temptation is there to exploit it for an incredible profit, that perhaps it be best to, maybe take one if you absolutely need the gold. As I just showed you, gold is easy enough to come across just by playing, and leave the rest there for other people. I think that covers guild shops as intense, as in depth as I wanted to do. At this point, I am going to pop out of this portion of the video, always making sure to leave via the quit menu so it writes to the memory card. Okay, so one more thing we're going to go over in this edition, and this is going to be a 2-for-1. Emus was nice enough to grab his heavy axe alt, and we're going to go in partied up and start trying to farm for Kage Yuzen. Now, getting the rare would be a bonus for us, but honestly, this is a situation where we're mainly going in looking to get some valuable experience and even more valuable treasure. I have tried this run a few times with varying levels of no success, because when you are a low-level wave master, your physical defense is non-existent. If you are super, super lucky, you can get some degree of success without getting hit, but eventually something's going to slide through, and just about every hit is going to be a crit. We're both bit below level 10 at this point. I believe I'm heading in at level 6. Emus, do you know exactly what level your heavy axe is?
9.
9? Okay. So we should both be pulling decent experience here on our kills.
Indeed. I have all the rigs and Apduked as well.
Oh, fantastic. So that is a plus for me, as that means that I won't need to use any of my speed charms. We're both pretty much at a level where we're still building gold on our characters.
Although it might take us a little bit of time because I'll have to get regeneration on me first.
That's fair.
People.
I'd normally say I'll use the Mage's Soul, but those are at kind of a premium for me.
Yep.
Hey, Rigsame's not a bad start.
Yep. So I'll put Rig Game on myself first. If you have lower SP and you have to have something with Rig Game or Rig Game on it, always do Rig Game first on yourself, so that you can recover the SP as you're waiting for the other ones to go.
Absolutely, very good point. Now, another thing you'll notice here is we're not going to bother with Fairy's Orbs, because most farming dungeons, if not a completely straight line, or at least a relatively linear path. Every now and then there are ones that branch out, and those typically do have directions on them. Now, there shouldn't be anything here for the first couple floors, if I remember. And then floor 3 is where we start. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Okay. Should be coming up on something here.
Yeah, this should be the room. Shield man.
So as you can see, all sorts of treasure popping up here.
A fine winter coat and an executioner.
It
Alright,
does.
any hits in?
Yeah, I'm getting on the first couple there. That time I just got stuck on that one that didn't quite die. Otherwise, I'd have made it to the back group too. And again, it is worth noting, 7 a pop for me and 6 a pop for you. That is not terrible experience at all.
Nope. And plenty of goodies to sell.
Indeed.
Like the moon. And the moon.
Actually picked up a
right,
rondo in that room, so.
Nice. That was a clean room.
Yep. Wow, I actually survived something. Literally not once while I was testing this did that happen. So I will take my luck there.
Yeah, this is if you want plenty of moons, this is the place to go.
Indeed.
Going against my prior instructions. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And congrats on the level.
Thank you. And I will get my app due now.
Gotta love that no damage hit on the shield man. As if it's not bad enough that they get a debuff at this low level.
Yeah.
is a nice ice helm.
What would you like?
And a fancy winter coat to go with it.
Actually surprised that took it down.
I did. My mom did the other half.
A nice stock of those moon on handy, just in case.
Yeah, I make you do easy stuff.
Rig game is done.
Nice.
Yay. So it's just...
And after just a couple of floors of Shield Men, I'm already up 300 experience here, so...
always nice to see. They just don't want me being accurate.
They really don't. Just playing into that heavy axe stereotype. Very strange how that worked out. Half of that Ganrom missed entirely, and then the rest did more damage than I thought possible with a character this level. And I am consciously throwing out Ganrom, 1 for mana efficiency, and 2 to make sure you get some shots in. As it's going to be far easier for me to accrue experience than you at this point.
Virus Core I.
Very nice. Well, it's a defense sword, yep. Health charms aren't bad, though.
Yeah.
So, the good news is, I had a Sprite Ocarina. The bad news is, that was my Sprite Ocarina.
Well, it just so happens I happen to have a few.
Cool.
But before we enter the dungeon, let me check to make sure that I have a few.
That's fair.
I have 15. I think that's basically the stock they give you plus 5 more. This character may be 4 years old, but it's not like I've actually played them. Yeah, Rig Same has been attained. That's always useful.
Indeed. I think one more run through here, and that should be all I need for the recording for learning to die less. And then if we could get Wee T up another couple levels, can maybe move on to Fragment Friday. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Sorry for asking you, A, to jump in on the recording, and B, to pull double duty, but as I said, it's just been a no alternative week.
It's all good. I'm enjoying playing the Heavy Axe character.
That is good. Don't know how that's missing the back one. I guess it's just further back than it appears.
Well, that guy hit me for like 10 damage.
Dang. Seeing a fair bit of executioner here too.
Yeah. Perhaps I should wait a little bit. I should be holding off on my,
Nah.
Oh.
I mean, it's pretty much even experience for both of us, so I don't... That's right. I'm like, why does it keep jumping to Mage's Soul? And then I remembered. No Sprite Ocarinas.
Hey, Regima, I'm always all for that one.
Indeed. I just pulled a measly app core over there.
Hey, I could use that. In fact, I think I'll try. I can actually use physical attacks now. Physical skills. So. Yeah, that kind of worked.
It was effective.
Wow, no treasure boxes whatsoever.
Yeah, that first room there I noticed last time was a complete blank. Oh no, I got a physical debuff. My poor Wave Master physical attack.
Hey. Yay, skill drain. Woo! I wonder how many fortune wires I even have. I probably don't have that many. I know what I'm buying.
Fair. See, that room helped you out. Just didn't drop anything.
Shoes on the other foot now. There we go. Alright. Alright, with our physical debuffs.
And another defense sword.
You mean cash?
Pretty much. Okay, yeah, one more run and I would level.